Welcome everybody to the series premiere of 6 Beers In. This is something that we've been collaborating with. Today with me I have Ryan Deemer of Skid Steer Nation, and he's our very first guest. He's been an integral part of the development and bringing the show to light. We've been talking about this for it's came together fairly quick, but
yeah, the concept's been around for 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, and the overall concept, was a hook that I had for a song called 6 Beers In,
right?
And the feeling that you have right there, and it's one of those where if you could just live at that point, no more, no less.
That's better.
It's just that's just where we head. So we're so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna split a 12-pack of Busch lattes. We do have the latte edition of these cans, and they're already sweating, so we don't have to.
Well, and I don't think anything's better than a beer in a nice koozie. So I gotta get out my.
Yeah. Oh, I
love coming koozie. Thank you, Cumming, Iowa.
So there's a couple of things on how we're gonna drink these. It's obviously you can see the cold already taking place in there. That is a tornado, a cold tornado that is encapsulated inside of the can, the conical shape at the bottom, creates the vortex, and when you open it, if you look closely, you can see the cold tornado escape, and the sound that makes that bush is the tornado that is escaping. So, for no further
It's episode 1.
It's episode 1. Oh, and we also got checked for the party can. I damn near got one right there. The party can is where the tip of the mountain lines up with the mouth of the can. If you get one of those, we'll at some point install a buzzer or something. You got to chug it. Not my rule. You just got to.
I do not have one.
So Brian does not.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Whoosh.
I don't know how they make it taste so good for just 53 cents. So you look great, man. What have you been up to here over since last couple weeks since we've gotten together? Yeah.
Man, we've just been grinding out in the store. We've had a really good month of September so far, and a lot of interactions with customers and some sales and selling some skid steer attachments, man. Getting some dirt work done for some guys.
So let's talk about that a little bit. Skid Steer Nation is where we can find you, right? SkidSteerNation.com.
Correct.
And the overall premise behind it, what do we expect when we get there?
So I spent 10 years as a general manager, director of operations for a skid steer attachment manufacturer. Through that time in that industry, I just found that these small American family-owned manufacturing companies just made a more superior product than the large corporations. The reason why they make such good equipment is because they're either dirt guys or they've got that engineering mindset, and they're really good at developing that product and making sure it works right. They're not very good at sales and marketing. So you got all these little mom and pop shops that do a good business, they make a nice lifestyle off what they make and all that, but there's a lot of people in the United States that have no idea who these people are. So the idea of Skid Steer Nation to me was like, let's create a platform, a store. Let's only work with small American manufacturers, and let's promote the heck out of these products that are overbuilt and underpriced compared to the competition.
And so your service, is it a regional coverage? Is it a national coverage?
So I'm just an online dealer. I have a dealership agreement with multiple manufacturers, and my dealership is for sales online. So when you order a product from Skid Steer Nation, it'll probably ship directly from the manufacturer when it's ready to go.
Okay, so quick drop ship, similar to, not all that different from Amazon or the like, right? I mean, on a larger scale.
Yeah, if you look at it that way. Yeah. I don't have a warehouse with all the products sitting in it. Allows us to keep the costs down.
That's good. We'll get more into that here on part of the last segment. We'll wrap up with the plug. But today we are rocking the Busch Latte T-shirt along with the Busch Latte can, and so hitting the scale. So I hit the scale yesterday, 283 pounds, down a pound from one of the last videos that we shot.
Nice.
The inaugural was 284, so I'm down 1, right? Where are you tipping the scales at these days?
So I think, was it 3 weeks ago? I was tipping the scales at 254. I started working out 5-6 days a week, and I'm up to 261.
261. Have you been eating a lot of corn?
Not enough.
No. Well, we are corn fed here in the Midwest.
No, I think it's probably a little bit of weight training, and I haven't done it for a long time, and it's probably a fair amount of the pizza that I consume as well.
Yeah, pizza, it's the gluten. We talked about that a little bit. Corn is not so much. So, but I I have a big spot for pizza as well. Pizza and beers.
Yeah.
The lattes, they just
They're good.
What's your overall preference for exercising? You say you've been laying off the weights.
No, I just started getting back into the weight training, so I missed the weight training. So I've been doing a lot of that. Not doing detail, like body part detail, doing more like upper body, lower body, 5-6 exercises per thing. Try to get 20-30 minutes cardio in. You know, I'm a cyclist, so I still love riding the bike. So a lot of the weight training I'm doing is still to try to increase my cycling capacity. So when I do those longer bike rides, I got the shape and the stamina to hang out.
And you do those primarily outdoors, right?
Yep. I don't know how those guys sit on that damn thing out downstairs for 5 hours.
I tried to do the spin class there for a little bit, and eventually it just starts working on my back, being cranked over. I don't know, I'm a bit of a dumbass sometimes, so I might not have had it set and fit just properly. And it was just one of those at one of the commercial gyms that you go into, and they have the metal stuff over your feet.
Right.
And probably have a little better.
It's all about chest forward, shoulders up, and then that stops them because we tend to slump.
Well,
it's natural,
you know. But guys like us, we don't really slump though. You know, I mean, we're chest first, right? Lead through, and
yeah, but your shoulders will round.
They will.
They round forward down in the handlebars, and if you keep them back, you know, you have to stop that. I'm behind.
We're on beer number 2. It's okay. It's not a race. We got plenty of time here.
So is it like the inaugural pyramid, or what are we doing?
You know, the garbage folks didn't get us a can set over here, so yeah, we'll just go ahead and round them up, and
but
who knows?
If we got a can, we wouldn't know when we actually finished 12.
Well, I mean, doesn't matter, I guess. But it is 6 beers.
You can't drink 5,
and we don't want to go 7. And that is one of those things where if if we end up in a spot where I have to drink more, the conversation may go in a different route. So, coming back to that, you were carefully selected for the premier guest because most times our consumption, the flow rates are very similar,
right?
The same. I think a lot of times I come out of the gate a little bit stronger, but before I know it, I look back and then you're pushing the pace.
It's
so.
like it's like horse racing. There's 3 types of horses. You got the front runner, and you got like the middle lead, and then you got the sprinter at the end.
Yeah.
I'm more that middle lead sprinter guy, man. Like you can come out of the gates fast, but I'll over the course of a full night, I'll walk side by side right at you.
So that's what the old man always used to say. He'd tell me, he'd say, "Man, you're good, strong out of the gate, son, but you don't do much for distance."
How clean and family friendly is this show?
Oh, we try to keep it, ish, but at least for now, we'll see. We'll let the feedback come back. We'll say that,
I was gonna say, I kind of feel like the old lion talking to the young lion.
Or bull?
the bull. I mean, sorry, but yeah.
Oh man, they make it taste so good for 53 cents.
It's solid.
It is solid, isn't it? It's a solid beer. So from there, we're into the second beer. So one of the things that I wanted us to kind of take a look at is the trip down memory lane here. So right over here, we've got us a couple of Donruss baseball cards from 1991. And we're going to totally rip this off from the old Mike Oz from Yahoo Sports. We'll go ahead and take a look at these. Let's talk about some of the players that we know. It might not be as exciting as opening them with like Cal Ripken Jr. or somebody who might be in here, but I think it'd be neat to just go back and talk about where we were. And
I'm just glad that there's no gum in here because I might be, after 6 beers, I might be tempted to have it.
Well, that's why we do it at Beer 2, right? So we still somewhat have our faculties do it. So no, they instead of the gum, this packet actually features the Willie Stargell puzzle. And no, did you collect the cards as a kid, right?
I did. I don't know how many thousands of cards I got in my parents' basement.
So were you a collector of anybody in particular, or were you a sets guy?
So baseball, my guy was Eric Davis.
Eric Davis.
I used to love that bat swing. You just get that thing swinging right there. You get that big step forward. I just loved Eric Davis, man.
I think Eric Davis.
Griffin Jr. was after that, but Eric Davis was by far like late 80s, early 90s.
So where was Eric Davis in 1991? Was he with the Reds at that time?
Probably was still doing the Reds, yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and open them up, see who you got there. So.
Not opening very gently here.
Are you one of those guys at Christmas that have to meticulously on the map? Or you,
No, not at all. But it's like an old, so if you can open that nicely to keep the wrapper, you never know, right?
Well, there's nothing in here that's worth.
So we got a little Mike Witt.
Mike Witt.
I remember him as a pitcher in the Yankees. Scott Fletcher. Oh, I did like this guy a lot. A little Dennis Eckersley.
Oh, Eck.
Yeah, I mean, how do you not love the Eck? I mean, and it was Oakland days.
Yes, so the first World Series I remember watching would have been 1989, I believe. It was the year after he gave up the bomb to Kirk Gibson.
Okay.
And 89 would have been the Earthquake Series. So I remember my dad and I, we were making bets. We'd bet $1 on each of the games, and at the end, you know, we'd have to trade it off. Well, the game 2, he wasn't able to watch it, and he recorded it on the old VCR. And I watched it at my cousin and uncle's house, and the next day, whenever we sat down to watch it, I was eager to place the bet. He called bullshit on that real quick. So, but
that's awesome.
Was on that one.
We used to do that in college. So on the Game Show Network, they would play like Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune at 1 in the afternoon. If you skip class, you could watch it at 1, and then you could dominate when everybody got together at 4 and 5 p.m. because you knew all the answers. But you had to go, if you were too good, they knew. A rated rookie card, but I do not remember a Kevin Morton for the Red Sox.
Kevin Morton, no.
Here's a little crime dog, Fred McGriff.
Fred McGriff, let's see there. He's a 500 home run guy and did not make the Hall, right? Or was he just short? Was he?
I don't know.
He might have been just short.
I don't know.
I can't remember. We may have to get a fact check on
One
that.
of the best catches outside of Bo Jackson in baseball.
Let's, somebody can hit maybe in the comments what the career home runs were for Fred Griff, maybe in the comments section below.
There you go. One of the best outfield catches outside of Bo Jackson in the wall catch and the wall run. Kevin Mitchell.
Kevin Mitchell.
The old one-hander on the wall at the foul line.
Yes, that was left field, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Bobby Witt. And then this guy, I just saw something the other day about him. Tony Gwynn. He could go 0 for the next like 1,100 at bats and still be a 300 hitter career. That's insane.
You know, I used to have a lot of his stats memorized, and I can't remember now, but he had something crazy. Like there was maybe 4 seasons that he struck out more than 50 times or something like this.
It's like here 1986 through 1990, 329, 370, 313, 336, 309. For a 329 overall average at 1991. That's nuts.
And but the strikeouts. So one of the
strikeouts. So here's the strikeouts for the year. 1986, 35.
35 strikeouts in a year.
For the year. In 160 games. 1987, 35. 1988, 40. 1989, 30. 1990, 141 games, 309 average, 23 strikeouts. I mean, Mr. Consistent.
So again, there was the numbers began to fade on me, but he took somewhere in the ballpark of I think 300 at bats or something off of each Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, and John Smoltz.
Mm-hmm.
Combined, he had 3 strikeouts against those guys.
That's nuts.
Career.
Nuts.
Yeah. Hell of a ball player.
I remember him, but I don't truly remember him. Dave Parker.
Oh, Dave Parker. So Dave Parker, there was a guy that I used to take hitting lessons from. Bobby Simpson's his name, from down in Marion, Illinois, and he ran Future Swings, a place called Future Swings.
Got it.
Anyway, he handed Dave Parker his resume when Dave Parker was a hitting coach for the Cardinals, and Dave Parker later took a look at it, and Bobby got hired to throw batting practice to the pitchers of all things. It was just an odd blurb there.
All right, so
we'll go through the comments and
yeah. So I mean, talking about the end of your career, Gary Carter. Was he a 69 rookie or something? I mean, he was 70. What year is his rookie year?
I don't know, but he was around for a while.
He was old. Scott Bradley, Jose Oquendo, which you probably remember him.
Jose Oquendo,
Okay.
of course. Now what's he doing right there? Okay, he's playing second base. It looks like he was throwing the rubber.
Yeah, and then we got a little Spaghetti Rigetti, Dave Rigetti.
Yeah.
And then a little Doug Drabek
Doug Drabek, yeah.
and David West.
So one thing that I don't know if you remember or not in this set, this was one of the first sets that had the inserts, the Deemer-Skid.
It does?
Well, it also has the Diamond Kings right here, which I don't know. Yeah, Dave Parker was our Diamond King.
Yeah.
That's something I've got my eye on. But the Deemer-Skid was something that I've never seen before. I did do a little bit of looking, and it's 1 in 2,700 wax boxes is your chance.
Oh?
Or
Wax
maybe
packs?
wax packs. Maybe wax packs. 1 in 2,700 to get one of those.
Huh.
Doug Draybeck, believe it or not, is in that set. Probably the only insert set that he was ever in, but nothing against the guy. Great pitcher. Remember on the Pirates, the Pirates were always beating on the Cardinals back then.
Before you dig into that, I gotta
Refill.
refill.
Where are we at here?
We're
So
at this-
we're,
you're- I'm tying you for 3.
for 3, so we're almost halfway through here.
Yeah.
All right, so my pack.
Coming out of the gates hot.
Oh, coming out of the gates hot. So this guy right here gets his career batting average to 300, takes his year off at first base, and retires immediately. But none other than O'Crucky, John Kruk.
John Crucky. I loved it when ESPN brought him on.
Oh, yes. We got a Brewer by the name of Ron Robinson. We got a Met, Keith Miller, Tom Flash Gordon,
Nice.
Dave Martinez with the Expos, a rated rookie, Julio Valdera. I don't remember some of these guys at all. Tony Phillips, he had one of those cranky batting stances.
Oh, that's right.
He would do almost a precursor to the old Gary Sheffield. Similar, almost. Oral Hershiser. There it is.
One of the best.
There's mine. He with the shutout inning streak.
He's solid,
Still
man.
holds it. So Oral Hershiser. That's one of mine. Carlos Baerga for the Indians. He was a big factor in that run that they had in the 90s.
Oh, back with Albert Bell?
Yeah, power hitting second baseman.
Yep.
Was pretty strong up the middle there with Omar Vizquel. Mark Portugal with the Astros. Got our Diamond King here. I just like the Diamond Kings. It was Greg Olson.
Orioles?
Yeah, for the Orioles. Lance Johnson, Glenn Braggs, Jack Howell, and Sean Boesky, Cubby.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a lot here. Do we get a? I don't think I did very well here.
I think you get,
I mean, you got Hall of Famers
yeah.
in a close way.
Right.
Yeah. No, you got a strong pack there.
I gotta throw Kevin Mitchell in there. He didn't have a career of it, but he had a couple good years there.
All right, so we're going total rip off here. We're gonna make a trade or something. What are we gonna do?
Make a team? No, I'm kidding. Well, that was fun, man. I mean, what a nice little memory down the lane. I think, what's the feedback, guys? Do you like the card opening, or is it a yawner, or is it enjoyable? Like, should he find different sports and different years and different packs, and
Tell us what you want.
and add cards to the show on a regular basis?
All right, so we're 3 beers in here. Things are getting a little bit more loose.
A little bit. It's coming natural now, Oh man. All right, so good stuff right there. What else did you have planned for this inaugural episode?
Well, so I really want to keep everything positive here, but there's something that's sitting heavy on my heart, and it's the passing of Road Warrior Animal yesterday that we found out. This is the pro wrestling segment that we can get into. He was, as we remember, with the Road Warriors, back with the
Hawk and Animal,
the NWA, tore up the AWA. Those guys came out of Minnesota. I had the pleasure to meet Road Warrior Animal and Hacksaw Jim Duggan at a meet and greet at Busch Stadium a couple of years ago, and we got to about 9 years ago now. A friend of mine, he had his 30th birthday party at the Broadway Athletic Club, and we all dressed up as our favorite wrestlers from the 80s. A close buddy of mine and I, we went as Hawk and Animal.
Got it.
I went as Road Warrior Hawk, he went as Animal. So when I got in, we had some pictures taken.
Did you like shave your hair too?
Yeah, we went full bore. I actually went to Supercuts or
we get a photo? Can we throw that in the comments down below?
We've got a photo.
Can we throw a photo in the comments down below?
We got some photos.
All right.
And speaking of the photos, I actually showed one of the photos to Animal whenever I met him, and he took the phone out of my hand and he showed it over to Duggan. Duggan looks at it, and me and the guy that I was with, Duggan takes a look, looks at us, and says, "Well, yeah, man, well, it's a good thing we ain't got a tag team match against these two guys tonight, right?" They're really playing it up. No, really good experience to meeting them. The Doomsday device that they had, that move, my goodness, I mean, that was just something that was completely devastating. Do you remember the move?
Oh, vaguely, but no, you have to.
Where Animal would put the guy on his shoulders and.
Did he raise him up like that?
Hawk would be in on the hot tag,
yeah,
and get up on the top rope and give him a clothesline off of him, and he'd have to go back flip and everything. I don't know how those guys were often talked about as being rigid guys, and that's a term for whenever they punched.
They punched.
It wasn't. They weren't pulling it back or anything like that. So anyway, no, those were some truly bad dudes, and we're surely going to miss Road Warrior Animal. But growing up, pro wrestling, you were up near Rockford, right?
Yeah, man.
So what was
you had to eat your vitamins and say your prayers, brother. Come on.
So you were Team Hogan, right?
So and here's what's funny. So I was just at my parents' house last week for a couple days, helping my mom and dad on some things. In the basement, I see this box, like stashed in a shelf with a bunch of our old toys, a bunch of our old stuff like that. I'm like, what is this? WrestleMania VCR edition, where the Giant and Hulk Hogan face off. Currently selling on eBay for $30 to $50.
WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, but it's a board game. You put the VCR tape in and you play the game off the VCR tape. It's just right there.
You have this.
And I have VCR baseball too, so if we're going to talk about how little my parents clean out their basement.
Do you have a VCR?
I do. I have two of them they have two of them. I don't know.
In the comments, comment below if you say what is a VCR if you don't know. I just want to see what the count is on that one. I don't know if we're going to attract too many people.
And if you're old enough, let me know if your parents bought Beta or VHS to start.
The old Beta.
My dad gambled on Beta and we lost.
Oh, as far as investment wise.
When they first came out, they did both.
So growing up, you're talking some stuff that I would have known nothing about. My family didn't know anything about gambling on or investing in.
Well, no, it wasn't investing. So when you went to the store, you could buy a Beta or a VHS.
And which one's going to take and be able to?
Yeah, so my dad's like, I like the Beta. It's got a smaller tape. It's got a better picture. And then within a year and a half, it was obsolete and everything.
So my dad was the opposite. He went total gung ho on the VCR, and up until DVR had been around for quite a while, and my dad was still programming the VCR to record the Little League World Series.
Yeah,
and he would dub over the tape and rewatch. And so a couple of years ago, for Christmas, I made a handwritten pass for 4 days of his choosing in the month of August to go to Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And I've been taken to the Little League World Series. And unfortunately,
I thought that was in Omaha.
No, it's in Williamsport. Yeah. And I had about 3 weeks before I tore that was when I had tore the knees up at the Ozarks. Had the accident, so wasn't able to go. So I scratched out. He had it pinned on the refrigerator, like I do with our kids. He pinned it on the refrigerator, and when I was home, I scratched it out, and instead of 2019 and changed it to 2020. Well, now with COVID,
now you gotta go to 2020.
So I've scratched it out now and went to 2021.
Maybe it's like a wine that's going to age. It's going to have a better World Series, Little League World Series in 2021.
It's one of those things. I mean, we bring up the COVID thing and everything that's going on there, and it's one of the things that I think about where you get the world's a loud place if you're willing to slow down a little bit and listen.
Yeah. And
we've all had an opportunity to slow down very recently, and this is one of those things where it's like, as much as I want to do it, I don't know, maybe it's not meant to be. I mean, Dad, I'm not saying like we're not going to go, but it's one of those like, what's going to happen?
Right.
Is something bad? One of the best examples that I have of this is when Texas Hold'em was really, really big and going hot. And I'd be the guy calling everybody that I know, people that don't even play cards, to try to get that 10th guy in for a good buy-in over the tournament game. And every time I do that, I'd be the first guy to get busted out. And then I'd sit around with my thumb up my ass until they're able to all get done, or enough people get out and have a cash game going. And then I lose the rest of my money and go home with that kicked in the nuts feeling. So, at any rate, anything like that, slow down. But
so I think, I think this year definitely myself, I have slowed down a lot. So, when you have the ability to be home and you're not on the go all day, like you can start looking at your schedule, your process, and like, what would I like to implement or change or get rid of, or how do I want to improve a little bit and everything like that. So one of the things I kind of really looked at is like, man, like everybody else, when you wake up in the morning, you grab that damn phone, you're probably checking your email, and then you go right to Facebook or a stock account or Instagram, you name it.
I play WWE Champions.
You play a game, you're doing something on a digital device within 10 minutes of being out of bed. So I've just made a hard rule that I don't touch a phone, and I'm digital free for the first hour of my day. I read for 20 to 30 minutes a book about business development or personal development. And my mind is just like, I can kind of ramp up my day instead of going 0 to 100.
Do you have any books to plug?
Man, I'll tell you right now, the book I just finished last time, it's called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. It talks about how you're never stagnant. You're either making yourself better or you're making yourself worse. And when you start doing the little things that are easy not to do, that's when you'll see a compounding effect one way or the other. So you can skip the gym every day, and next thing you know, you're like, wow, how did I gain 30 pounds? Well, it didn't happen overnight. It happened because it's a consistent basis of not going to the gym, a consistent basis of not eating there. You can do the little things at the work every day. You can send the personal notes to everybody you talk to. You can send the personal emails. All the little things. They don't pay off today. They don't pay off tomorrow. But in a year from now, those people don't forget that. Like, it's the little things that it's just as easy not to do.
It's just like why we don't plant seed to eat today.
Right.
Plant seed to
It's
eat.
like a farmer, man. Yeah. You don't go out to the field the next day and go, where's the corn?
Right.
We need more bush light. Where's the corn?
What was the name of it again?
The Slight Edge.
The Slight Edge.
By Jeff Olson.
I always get that one wrong. I'm thinking riding the edge, or I think of it like a
Slight
edge myself. The Slight Edge.
But it was. I mean, there's nothing in there that's like world breaking, but he just talks about it enough that it actually sinks in. You go, excuse me, holy shit! Like, you're the keeper of your own outcome. Like, you're never a victim. Take responsibility for the things that happen around you. And if you don't like something, change it. And change it consistently. But what happens is, like, we gain 30 pounds, we start going to the gym, working out, we get close to where we want to be, and then we get complacent, we stop working out, we start eating shitty, and then we start going right back down. And so we never get ahead of where we want to be, we barely get to where the baseline is. And the same like that in business and life and relationships, the whole nine yards.
So actually, it's funny that you bring that up, because I was just having a conversation with a buddy of mine just today at lunch. Mike, you met him. He's the fullback from my high school. That you had met. He was talking about he's lost 32 pounds in the last 60 days since vacation. And I said, well, you're supposed to do that before vacation. And he said, well, I was
had a weird number here.
Yeah, we'll be okay. He says, well, I went down to vacation, and then we were there for
I'm not going.
We were there for 2 weeks, and I developed a party can.
I was like, is that there?
That's
a party can.
I think we're gonna have to go. I don't even know why you're putting it in the koozie.
Like, what are the odds that you got a party can? Episode 1.
Don't know what well, hopefully you guys have us around long enough to where we'll be able to pull some data, and we'll be able to get the analytics department involved, and they'll be able to.
So I think this needs to be part of the show. Whoever gets the party can, we gotta like create like a little spot in the wall and put their time.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I'm gonna make a plug for Mike. Ironically enough, who we were just talking about earlier today. He's coming up with. I better not say anything, because I don't know if we're allowed to.
We'll wait.
But we might have something that
on that. But again, until that point, you gotta get
until this.
we have a stopwatch here. So I think that'd be kind of cool. Like, hey, you're in the party can. Here's the leaders of the party can.
Yeah.
For the show.
Not that we're encouraging binge drinking or anything like that. We're just two guys drinking 6 beers.
Kinda.
We're 250 plus, so it's like normal people drinking a glass of wine. So
there's a stopwatch. So how does this happen? Like when the hand hits the glass, or when the glass hits the glass?
I'm gonna say when I say go is when it's gonna go, and then whenever you slam it down, that's when it's done. So
right.
Ready, set, and go. .91, folks. 6.91 seconds. That was a pretty quick, and I can confirm that would be classified as empty. Excellent job. Excellent job. We will.
All right.
We'll have to.
It wasn't coming out fast enough. I had to give her a squeeze.
Yeah, that's what they tell me on Saturdays sometimes. We'll grab that and we'll document it.
That's fine.
We'll get that in the records, analytics department. All right, 6.91. So okay, so shit. So now you're ahead.
Now, hey, see, middle of the race. So
okay,
you got it. That's it.
Could you imagine? When's the last time you double backed?
Actually, last summer.
Not double bagged, double backed.
Double backed, yes. Last summer.
Yeah, okay, last summer.
So those Natter days came out.
Ah, yeah.
And my buddy, we're camping. 3 in the afternoon. He hands me a Natter day. I'm like, I'm not drinking that. He's like, no, we're not drinking it. We're shotgunning it. And he slams the fucking key in it. And he slams the key in his. I'm like, it's 3 in the afternoon. We did it at 3, 3:15, 5, 7, nothing, like the whole night. He's a SWAT officer, so they're a little, they're wired.
Yeah.
It's go time, man. It's go time. He's always go time. Polly, I love you. I love you.
And we assume most folks are going to watch and you're going to know who you are. So, and if you are, go ahead, comment below.
Perfect.
So, okay, so we got a couple more left. Let's talk more about Skid Steer Nation, man. So, we touched on the COVID a little bit. You and I, we talked about you had a website before, or at least the concept of it, and now since the COVID thing has happened, you really get into it. We're all from the Midwest. A lot of people are, but if you're not, we are all inclusive here. We do invite people not from the Midwest, so we'll back it up just a little bit. I mean, do we need to discuss what a skid steer actually is, or like some people might call them just bobcats?
Bobcats, skid loaders, skid steers.
Yeah, with the tracks and the
tracks
bucket
and the wheels and the bucket.
And
if you're still not sure what it is, just Google it.
Or hit him up at skidsteernation.com.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. No, so I tinkered around with it for a while. I had some success, had a couple of sales, this and that, and then got focused on the day job, which meant the side hobby kind of gets pushed to the side and all that. And then when COVID hit, like you talked about, my time opened up a lot. So I had a lot of time, like, what's my next step? Like, do you sit around twiddling your thumbs waiting for the economy to get back to normal, and then go out and figure out what your next move is and what industry you want to be in and what company you want to work with? Or do you just go trailblaze your own path? So I put my hat on backwards and we're going that way, man. But you can get busy building your dream, or you can get busy building somebody else's.
Bingo.
So at that point, I'm like, I know a lot about this industry. I've got 10 years experience in it. I know a lot about the customers. I know what makes a good attachment. I have access to these companies. Check box, check box, check box.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing missing is dedication.
Right.
So it was time to dedicate. And to be honest, like the first 3 or 4 months, I was doing it. I was having a little bit of success. I was doing a little bit of work, but I was really kind of doing me. But that whole March through, I don't know, July. And when that time hit, like when August hit, I'm like, God, you procrastinated, wasted 4 months. Like you could have been so much farther ahead with the business. And then we started getting the business going. I was like, man, that 4 months to be blessed with the ability to like kind of reset, slow down, figure out what's important we want to do. Like I think in 5 years, looking back, taking that 4 months and just kind of doing a little bit, but I'm not spending 12 hours a day on it. I'm going to look at that as a turning point for me.
For sure, you know, I mean, and you touched on something there too that at a young age, man, I don't know, I had a different view on time, right?
Yeah.
So you talked about wasting that first 4 months, and that's one of those where you can just let that go. Let's not waste the next 4 months. And I talk about that as we go from our 20s into our 30s, into our 40s, and every time that you hit one of those milestone birthdays, right? It's one of those where it's like, oh shit, for me to be 25 again, you know, to think back about that, you know, 10 years ago. Well, guess what? 10 years from now, we're gonna be wanting these days back.
Right.
Even these COVID-laced days that we're cursing and everything, there will come a time where we're gonna look back and be like,
Right.
you know what? I wish that I had the opportunity to do a 4-month reset. I've never had that opportunity in my life again.
100%. That's my point. Like, you know, I bought my first business at 25 years old, and by 28 years old, we had 2 bars and a restaurant, 110 employees. We worked from 10 in the morning till 4 at night, 5 days a week. It was fun. Wasn't work to me, but it was go. When that industry got done, you get into manufacturing, and then you're the head kingpin of manufacturing. It's still a full-time gig. Phone still rings on Saturdays. Like, work-life balance, I don't believe in that. I believe in work-life integration. Like, work is part of your life. It's got to integrate into it, whether it's a Saturday, Sunday, or an evening. Every now and then, that's going to happen.
That's an entrepreneur's mindset.
100%. But I've never had 2 months. I'm like, it's not doing anything. And then you really can't do anything for 2 months. Like, you'll do something, but it's like, all right, I'm going to ride my bike today. I'm like, all right, I'm going to read today. I'm like, but I wasn't doing anything for financial gain. And at the end of that, like, the stress level drops. Your focus gets better. Like, yes, that's what I want to do. It's not sitting in front of me and I'm like, yeah, let's just go do that. Like, when the time came, it's like, let's roll. And, you know, I get up at 5:30. Like, who gets up at 5:30? You don't have to.
I'm a morning guy, except for on nights when you're drinking.
Last night, my buddy called me, and Zach, if you're watching, I apologize. My buddy called me, and I'm like, "That doesn't call me after dinner. Like, I'm already in bed." And I'm like, "Oh, it's 7:42." So I was like, "I'm home."
No, it's silly, but you know, that's what the beauty of day drinking is, though. Honestly, I love being able to start early and then stop at 8 or 9 o'clock, and then still.
You wake up the next day and you feel good.
I mean, sleeping in until 6:30 is like actually sleeping in.
Right.
It feels like noon. So, okay, we're talking skid steer nation. We're talking attachments. We're talking the marketing plan. We're talking hitting us hard and all things skid steer, all things construction, all things agriculture. Skidsteernation.com, right?
All things skid steer attachment related.
Right.
Yeah.
So you touched on something else where you know you've been an entrepreneur for quite some time. You had the bar business. I know that there was some music stuff involved in there.
There was.
We got a beer left.
6, 7, 8, 10. Yeah.
We're gonna crunch this one. We got a beer left. Let's talk about a couple of the. Let's talk about a few of the bar stories. Some of the musical folks that you were interacting with, and prioritizing some of those that our Midwestern brethren might truly
appreciate. All right. We're crushing more beers. Geez, I just crushed one.
It's not a contest. It's not a contest. I had to pull hard to pull.
Well, that's because I had the party can, man.
I know, but that's what's bullshit about that is that you got the party can,
and then you got.
And then I had to chug about a half of one.
Yeah, and it's like, I can't let them. I can't say.
Yeah, no, this is that where you're pushing the pace again, and so so we'll allow one F word per each of these shows, and I'll use it right now, and that's what the old man would call you fucked up my beer drinking.
Yeah.
He's told me now. He says that whenever I drink a Busch Light, that damn son, you're sure making him sing. And I'll say, well, you know, do you need one? Do you need one? No, you're gonna fuck up my beer drinking. I'm gonna do my own. Oop, that was two.
Dennis has got his pace, and he's consistent.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's not always been that way, though.
And I'll tell you what, though, Dennis, I will bring my friend Josh over here. Josh is maybe 5'6", 7, 135 pounds. He's like he was a semi-pro cyclist. He's just a little guy. I will put him beer for beer with Budweiser for a 10-hour period.
Oh my!
I've never seen anything. I mean, you've seen Josh drink. You've
I've
been
seen,
bowling.
yeah. No, Josh is.
But he drinks beer for beer with me when we go out, and he drinks Budweiser or Red Bull.
Josh is one of the happiest guys I've ever met, man. He's a cool dude. He's a cool dude.
He's, you know what? To steal the line from Stewart, he's as cool as the other side of the building.
That is
as cool as the other side.
That is accurate. Yeah, bowling. That's another one of the things. But back to the.
We're not talking about.
Well, I mean, you're in a bowling league, right? And you're doing well. You have a 200 average.
It's 9-pin no tap.
But 9-pin no tap. I mean, that's
we drink beer. That's
still the bumpers aren't up, right?
No, not yet.
Not yet. I mean, I have to use the bumpers whenever otherwise it's the ball goes everywhere. I do the Dan Smash roll where my thumb sticks.
As long as you get 9, that's good. It gets that.
And I throw it past the diamonds, past the arrows, and yeah.
Well, Dave wanted you to bowl tonight, so we're made short. But I told him your knees probably wouldn't be able to handle it.
Well, we'll ask for permission.
Well, we already have it.
Okay. No, that's on camera, dude.
Can't edit.
At any rate, this is a one-take deal. We have no. Okay, so we have analytics team, we have IT. We do not have an editing team.
Well,
so
we don't want
what we got is what you get. So
I think what you want is you want it raw.
Raw, yeah.
That's raw.
Just like
if you put an editing team in, it's to put like an intro and an exit.
Just like the perfect.
You don't edit. You don't edit the actual show. Like that's what happens. Yeah. Makes it real.
So. Before we get so we're getting close to that beer. We've segued pretty decent here. I do want to talk about the bar days though. That's
all right.
I think there's some pretty good stuff in there that we might be able to.
It's funny. It's like I take some of that stuff for granted because it was my life. So when people say, "Hey, who did you meet?" and you tell them, they want more, and I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. Like it's.
Well, even more importantly, who didn't you meet? There's a story or two in there too. I'm sorry, I'm leading the witness.
What are you talking?
Going through the inserts. Oh, look who we missed out on.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't me. That was the guys.
Oh, okay.
That was the guys aboard. So what Dan's talking about is SOPs on Main, downtown Peoria. When I purchased the business, it was moved up one block into an old bar that they remodeled and all that. But originally, it was on a corner. When it was on a corner, it was a live music venue. It still is when we had it, but bands would send in their promo packs. They send a folder in. It's got like a picture of the band, a little bridal workup of it, and then like a CD for you to listen to. Because they're driving through the area. They want to book a show, this, that, whatever else. And SOPs have been around since the early '90s, and they were going through these milk crates of all these promo packs, and they would save all the ones from all the bands. And 99% of 1,000 are worthless. Some local band, some this, some whatever else. Well, they pull out a folder and they open it up, and the second owner that had it on the corner, his wife was like, "Are you effing kidding me? Dave Matthews Band sent in a promo pack and wanted to play here in 1992 or 91 or who knew him?" I remember in Macomb, like Sugarland was sending out that stuff to us at the bar. We're like, "No, we're not paying you $2,500. Who the hell are you?" A year later, you're like, "We'll pay you $25,000." You're like, it's just nature of the beast.
It's like missing on beta, isn't it?
Probably worse. But it's like missing on Amazon. Probably.
I missed on Amazon.
Yeah,
that's why we're doing this podcast. Smashcast. This is the Smashcast.
The Smashcast.
Oh, and I meant to tell you that just a few minutes ago, analytics was dialing in here, and they did say that even though this is the series premiere, we are already trending as the #1 Smashcast on all the interwebs.
Is it number one Smashcast?
It's beside the point. That's.
I love it.
Okay, so what else did you have? What else did you have during the bar days? I mean,
so I think there's two that I would really say stand out the most. The third one was just kind of cool, but like we paid to play. It wasn't like it was a impromptu or like, oh shit moment. So number 3, we'll start with number 3. Number 3 was David Almco played live at SOPs. You think it sounds awesome, right? Like, oh, David Almco, icon, outlaw country music and all that. The son of a bitch didn't leave the trailer until he came in and got on stage. And the moment he got done, he walked right out to the trailer. And here's the kicker. Because of his health problems, he can't play with air conditioning. So the air conditioning had to get turned off 20 minutes before he walked in the door.
And what time of year was it?
August.
August in Peoria.
Oh, so, I mean, the whole, there's 400 people in there just sweating.
400 corn-fed, half-inbreds, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, they're sweaters anyway, mouth breathing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was.
I mean, that's what we're all about, right?
Everyone's complaining about how hot it is. Turn the air on. I'm like, okay, David won't play if the air is on. So that was kind of cool. Let's say David Almco, like, outlaw country icon.
I mean, yeah.
Was from me to you away. You know, he didn't even say hi to me and my brother who owned the business that was paying his manager. He was just kind of like,
And this was your third greatest? No?
that was well, the third just was David. I mean, it's David, you know. So number 2, it's a Wednesday night. We had this kid that's he's been bugging us forever to start doing some shows at the bar. He wanted to be a promoter. He's like, man, I've been on the West Coast, up in Oregon, Washington area. Hip hop is huge out there. The next big guy's coming out of this region. And, you know, we're in Illinois. I'm like, He's like, oh, how are we gonna get some shows in here? I'm like, I'll tell you what. You can have Wednesday nights. You can pay the band. You can have the door. Like, I'll provide the venue. I'm not getting involved. I don't know anything about this industry. So the guys show up. There's 25 people in the bar. Nobody in the bar.
Less than a normal night?
Well, it's a Wednesday. Wednesday's downtown, right? I mean, they're not. I mean, for a venue, we probably shouldn't be open on Wednesdays because we're not like a
What
little
time of year?
Doesn't matter.
Bottle night was Wednesdays where I come from.
Well, we're a venue, so we're a Thursday, Friday, Saturday bar.
Got it.
Monday through Wednesday, we did dart leagues because that was reason to be open. So we get together Wednesday nights. Opening act, really good. Really good. I'm like, he's awesome. It's 10:30, I'm gonna go home. Weekend's coming, I'll get some rest. So I didn't stay for the headliner. And I'm like, who's this headliner anyway, right? I don't even think it was a year. I think it was like 9 months. This dude blows up. I mean, MTV, VH1, the award shows, you name it, he's on it. And I'm like, that's the guy that was playing Wednesday night and I went home early. It was Macklemore. Macklemore played at SOPs. I watched the opener play in front of the Macklemore sign, but I didn't stay and watch Macklemore.
I don't know exactly who he is. I know the name, but I'm with you guys.
Your kids will know him. My godson's like, what? I'm like, I don't know. But he's by far probably world range. Like that's the biggest guy we've ever.
Yeah. No. I mean, again, I know the name, but you know, I mean, it's. I'm about 30 years. My musical taste is about 30 years behind. I'm with you.
So my favorite story though is it's a Saturday night. We're doing an open band concept. No, sorry, we're doing a battle bands concept, and we've got this. You know, everyone plays for 4. It was a Wednesday through Saturday event. You played Wednesday, Thursday. The winners of those played again Friday, and then the winners started playing on Saturday. We announced the winner. I had photography package, sound. I had companies that were like, yeah, I'll give them 8 hours of recording studio time. Yeah, I'll do their photos. I'll do this. If you're a band, it's a big deal. Like it's going to save you $5,000 to $7,000 in expenses. So it was kind of cool. My buddy calls me, and he's like, hey, he's in the hunting industry. He's at the Civic Center. He's like, hey, I got Rascal Flats. They want to go drinking. Can you open the back door and let us in? And this is pre-smartphone. So like when they came in, you couldn't like text, oh my God, Rascal Flats is here. And then 400 people show up.
Yeah.
So there was 150 people in the bar. Rascal Flats do shots. It's fun. They're laughing. And then Joe Don, the guitar player, he's like seeing the stage of all this equipment. And he's just like, I want to play.
And they just played the show.
And Gary goes, I don't want to play. And Joe Don goes, I want to play. And Gary's like, fine. Ron White was performing in the theater that night also. He crashed the Rascal Flatts show. He had done 2 shows in a row, Friday and Saturday. He came to SOP's Friday night. He was with them Saturday on their stage, so he came with them again on Saturday. So they're getting on stage and they're like, hey, can we use this equipment? And the guys are like, and they're like heavy metal. These typically who does the shows we're doing. And the guys are like, yeah, that's cool. But they're not country guys like, oh my God, yeah. But they're just like, yeah, that's cool. Like, he can afford to fix it if it's breaks. So they're up there, they're tuning the guitars, and Gary's like, I don't know if I want to do this or not. Ron White walks up on stage, and he's going to sing with these guys. And he tells this joke. And if we're going to use one F word per person?
Yeah, we'll allow it. This is the first one. So you let us know how many F words you want to hear in the show.
So this is Ron White's joke.
Comments below.
This is Ron White's joke that he tells while Rascal Flatts is tuning the equipment. And he goes, he's got a scotch on the rocks. He's like, traveling salesman's walking up the road, and he hits the doorbell, and little Johnny opens it, and he's wearing his mom's bra and panties and smoking his dad's cigar. And the traveling salesman goes, hey, little boy, is your mom and dad home? And he just goes, what the fuck do you think? One of my favorites of all time.
That's a good one.
But yeah, so then Rascal Flatts, they played for 30 minutes. And they can't play any shows that they don't have a contract to under the name Rascal Flatts. So they called themselves the Ohio River Soggy Bottom Boys.
The Ohio River Soggy Bottom Boys. Yes. Well, what about Dan and Shay? You familiar with these guys?
Those girls?
Guys.
Girls?
Guys? What
Girls?
girls?
It's kind of gay music for country.
They remind me a lot of Rascal Flatts.
Oh, really?
They
remind me a lot of like 98 Degrees.
But the sound.
Yeah,
I don't watch them, I just listen.
Still doesn't sound like country to me.
No.
At least Rascal Flatts, Gary's got a little twangy voice. Those guys sound like they belong on.
So not so much then.
Not my mind.
You know, I mean,
Maybe I'm wrong. Comments below.
well, then I guess we're not going to drink tequila.
You can drink tequila, like who's the other guy that sings and makes your clothes fall off?
Is that Joe Nichols?
Yes, Joe Nichols.
Joe Nichols, yeah. Well, I think, where are we at, 2?
Wherever we're at, that's 6 beers in.
Well, I got Swaller left.
Well, I got like 4 or 5 ounces.
And we're at a point right now where we're going to discuss how we're going to close this show. And you are going to be a very vital player in how we're going to make this happen.
How we're going to make it happen.
You know, we do have the pro wrestling segment in here. And so there's one that is a Ric Flair flavor. Or we have the arm wrestling segment, where we're going to close the show with a chest slap or an arm wrestle. And it gets to be your choice.
I think you need to add a third option. Not for me. You're going to have guests that go, I'm doing either one of those.
Well, if we set the precedence now, I mean, we may only get 3 episodes into this.
So let's just let's for example, your boy Mike Kaluza. You bring him on for a show.
IT Mike.
He ain't taking a chest slap, and he sure is fucking arm wrestling.
Well, I mean, you know, we could. There's some things arm wrestling wise that we could discuss. We can talk through and
I mean, I think it's called dance smash. I think you should just smash something.
I mean, I don't know what we got here to smash. I don't want to break.
Can
I mean,
I guess, but
the damn smash of this is just the fact of us smashing beers. Like he did it. I mean, he did it right. He smashed the.
Well, you had to.
He smashed the party can. Well, it's all about that flow rate. You gotta have the tilt just right. You gotta get the
but the flow rate wasn't going to give me the time I wanted, so I had to increase the flow rate.
Increase the pressure. We're gonna have to get.
So I sent him a message last night asking if 2 opposing forces each applied 33,000 pounds, what would the total force be on the thing? He goes, would it be a net zero? Is it Newton's third law? I'm like, Doesn't sound right, but I have no idea.
I think that's Newton's third law because every force is equal and opposite. But I did also say that if you put something in there, that it would beg the difference.
You did say that. I'm pretty sure the tree, when it gets to 33,000 pounds of forces, is going to say, no, it's not zero.
The tree is going to say that, but, you know, I mean.
Because we were saying there's 60,000 pounds of force. And guys are commenting, no, it's 33,000 pounds of force. Physics doesn't work that way. I'm like, maybe you're right.
Newton's third law says if you have one going this way, you have one going that way. You get to tell me which side's positive, which side's negative. But if they're equal, they're pushing equal and opposite. And it should be a net zero.
But if they're not touching each other, if they're grabbing like this can, and they're each applying 33,000 pounds to the side, is the total force 33,000 pounds, or is it 66,000 pounds, or is it 50 or 45?
Let us know in the comments below. Show your work.
Because I can't Google it, because I can't figure it out. It's clamping power they want to talk about around the clamp, not two rows of pitch.
And we don't do common core. We're doing show your work. Let's see how we do it. But I know that there's going to be some folks out there smarter than us that be able to put this together for us. So.
If you need a tree puller, 3.5 inch bore, 8 inch stroke, 2 cylinders, AR 400 1 inch thick jaws, the tree doesn't stand a chance.
It just comes right out.
Whatever you skid through can let.
It's done. So, yeah, we'll save that for the next one. Let's go ahead and polish these suckers off.
I just did.
Ryan, great having you. We'll probably have to do this again. We'll take a look and see what everything looks like. But let's see, we're plenty of time for you to make bowling league, right?
Oh, barely. I'm gonna be tight.
Okay. Well, we'll get you out of here. Again, best thing you can do is to go ahead and share the video, but at the very least, go ahead and smash that like button, smash the subscribe. We're gonna get this put on the YouTubes. We'll kick it out on the Facebooks and Instagrams and all the other things, and we'll talk with the with IT Mike and see where all we need to do this. I do know that Snapchats is one of the things that we need some help with, and because we don't know how to break it up. This has been a semi-long show, and as far as I know, the Snapchat has like less time that you're allowed to do, and it automatically does the thing. So anybody out there that can help us out with that, hit me on a private message. You can find me at Dan Smash on the Facebooks, and we'll have this channel loaded up and linked out there. So with that, Ryan, thanks again. We'll do this every week that people are liking it and having it. We're and as long as we're having fun, smashing beers and all that. Dan Smash, your host. Ryan Deemer, Skid Steer Nation. We'll see you guys next time.